The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
The following episode has been brought to you by the Dorkening Podcast Network and is sponsored by Deadly Grounds Coffee.
3, 2, 1.
And now, you're tuned into the Navarro-Miller Report, featuring the hottest in news, entertainment, sports, and all those topics for the mainstream audience. The Navarro-Miller Report.
Examine your reality.
Welcome, everyone, and welcome to the Navarro-Miller Report. I'm your host, Dave Navarro.
And I'm Jeremy Miller.
And we have special guest co-host, musical sensation, a rising star, Ashley Paul. Ashley, thank you so much. And we've met before, actually.
We have. Hey, guys, thanks for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Great to have you here. And I need to apologize ahead of time for, Jeremy and everything he might say about me, all the lies he might tell about me. And
You've already dealt with Dave for a while now. You've met him, so you know I speak the truth when I criticize him. So it's all good.
Whatever, okay?
I know there's just love. There's just love in this whole room right now.
God,
You can call it that.
Yeah, you can call that, or I could call it a couple of other things. Anyways, wanted to welcome everybody on the stream here and also on TikTok. Thank you so much for being here on TikTok, everybody on here. And as we usually have a habit of doing, I subject Jeremy to TikTok blind reacts because he refuses to get a TikTok, even though he has one, but he never puts anything on there. I'm telling him he needs to start doing like dances or something. I mean, Jeremy, you really need to start doing dances.
What kind of dances? What kind of music do you like?
There is no dances. I like all music, mainly jazz, blues, classic rock, but I listen to everything except EDM and techno, and practically everything else.
Great.
It's just doesn't dig with me, but no, I don't dance, and he will never get me on TikTok.
Whatever.
He convinced my fiance to start an account for me behind my back.
What?
And I still
That's a lie.
So
That's a damnable lie. That is a damnable lie. I did no such thing. She already had done that before.
You liar.
Whatever.
Maybe. Well, maybe. I mean, you're saying you didn't do it, but maybe he was really just trying to encourage you to have some interest in it.
I love Ashley. She's like the nice one here.
She just keeps trying to dig you out of your hole. I don't like it.
He was trying to
Oh my God.
nurturing.
Well, welcome everybody here. JC, thank you so much. JC saying congrats on 60 episodes. Dave Navarro and Jeremy Miller. Thank you very much. JC, we appreciate you. The 60 episodes, 60 times having to deal with you.
Can you believe I put up with you this long?
God, 60
That's a really
long
long-
episodes.
That's a long time.
I've put up with them even longer than that. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ashley.
There's also, yes, JC, I know there's an echo going on right now. It's a little bit of a, it's an echo that happens. What are you going to do? it'll fix itself eventually. But anyways, as I was saying, we do have some blind reacts. This particular one this first TikTok has to do with basically, it's a TikTok challenge a lot of couples are doing right now. But this one, it was a successful disaster. But go ahead and check it out.
Trust my wife?
Okay, ready?
Yes.
I mean, it was successful.
All I can say is he's a fool for trusting his wife.
I mean, it's kind of sexy.
It's like, yeah, you like being smacked in the face, don't you? Yeah, yeah, you naughty boy.
I mean, it's they're just trying to have fun.
Oh yeah, and getting smacked in the face, that's always fun.
They're trying to spice it up.
Oh, this. Let's see what our comments are saying right now. They're saying, Meg's saying Florida woman and man.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Good one. I like that. We always make fun of just so you know, Ashley. We always make fun of Florida man. Something's always going on with people in Florida. You're from Florida.
Yeah.
So we have actually a Florida woman here, but not the Florida woman.
I don't know what it is about Florida, but people just think nobody's watching when they live there.
That's a very good explanation.
Oh yeah, pretty much. Now,
no accountability kind of thing.
Pretty much, yeah. For the most part, yeah. This next one has to do with two guys that were trying to flee the police, and one of them decided to turn Jackie Chan on him out of nowhere. Alex, check it out.
What the fuck? You run away from the police? You doing gymnastics? G, help me! Help me! I'm gonna get caught. Come on. Just open this damn gate right there. See why you didn't take the easy way? I'm following up you, idiot, bro. Damn.
That was a nice setup. I like that.
But the door opened. What was the point of jumping the fence?
Well, how many times are we in such a hurry we don't even look at what's in front of us?
Well, in their particular case, they were in a major hurry.
Yeah, that's very profound.
Oh, Meg, that's great. Dude in the blue hoodie is me. Meg, you gotta up your game.
No, you know what? I don't know if I can tell a story, but one time,
Please.
I'm not a jump the fence kind of girl, but I jumped a fence once, and it was my soon to be ex in-laws house, and I
have to ask.
Remember, I had to get them to their house for something, and I was just and they had those pointy things at the top. Somehow I avoided them, and I got all the way in. Even the dog didn't yell at me, and I got what I needed, and I left. But they couldn't believe. They're like, "How did she jump our fence?" They were such a random story, but I was thinking I really did that. Anyway,
you were in awe of that the gymnastics of Ashley Paul.
Yes, it's all those dance lessons.
There you go. There you go.
All the way up and went over. In fact, I did a split on top, and then I was able to get on the other side.
Okay, that's impressive, because I have to admit, for many reasons that are past the statute of limitations, I have jumped a few fences myself, and a few times I got the jeans or the shorts caught on that little spike thing.
Yes.
It didn't go well.
Wedgie.
Are you okay? Were you okay? Did you hurt yourself?
I managed to be okay, but it wasn't pleasant in the moment.
I can imagine you just saying, hanging around, I mean, what are you gonna do?
Oh my God. I'm so sorry.
I do the cheese jokes.
I don't know.
Honestly, it's one of those things where I wish
just
we had social media back then, because I guarantee one of my friends would have been filming it and we would have gotten 100,000 views.
Oh my God.
So
that's awesome. Oh, Lord. Well,
I don't know how I did it. But anyway, it was in Florida.
There you go. So this last one, we always, so whenever there's police across the street, we always like the tea. We always want to know what's going on. We're always nosy and stuff like that, and we always want to know what's happening. This guy was very, very creative as to how he was trying to find out what was going on with his neighbor and the cops. Check it out.
All those people, and then there's just this motherfucker.
Again, I like it. It's creative.
I like the washing of the car. It's very zen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I
I
think
had a friend when I lived in East LA that his parents, whenever the cops would be in the neighborhood, would go out and mow the lawn when it was near so that they could keep an eye on what was happening. So I like that. That's creative.
it's kind of like it's a distraction, right?
Yep.
So in our stream, Meg is saying honest to my mom would do that.
Meg, I still haven't met you. We've only talked, and I believe you completely.
Well, Meg is also a Florida woman too, so she's in Florida as well. She's in Tallahassee, so
Oh, okay, that's cool.
yeah. So, but those are our TikTok blind reacts. Yeah, those are bad. You know, I mean, they were pretty tame for the most part. You know, at least for the taste of what's going on and everything. So
I think those were pretty tame compared to what we could have found.
Oh, trust me.
Yeah.
Oh, trust me. I'm like, oh, trust me. We could have found so much more. But in talking about weird and outlandish news, so a company, obviously, I don't know if you guys are aware of this company called, I guess they're called Ring. Ring, they specialize in doing like doorbells, like with the little Ring camera on it or whatever. So whenever somebody like, you know, presses the button, they can see what's going on. Well, with this talk of aliens, you know, obviously we know there's aliens among us, and you know, government saying we are not alone and this other stuff. They are actually offering people $1 million, a $1 million prize for those who record alien activity on their Ring device. The caption reads, this is from @Puberty on Instagram. It says, Ring has announced their quote $1 million search for extraterrestrials competition, where they encourage users to film an extraterrestrial sighting with their Ring device. The company announced Wednesday the contest open only to Americans at least 18 years old is to capture quote unaltered scientific evidence of a real extraterrestrial life form with a Ring device. One winner will receive the grand prize of $1 million awarded with $50,000 payments a year for 2 decades, the company said. Yeah, they're not going to pay that ever.
Never.
I mean,
Jeremy, I've had this argument for a very long time.
I mean, how could that even? That just sounds, that's like false advertising.
Well, here's the deal. I personally have always believed that we are not alone in this universe. I think you have to be pretty arrogant to believe that we are the only intelligent life in a universe so vast.
Mm-hmm.
But I also believe that they have no interest in us. I believe if they even come near this planet, all we are is their reality trash show. Chris Titus, the comedian, said it best. He said, literally, they show up every so often and go, you won't believe what's happening on Space Monkeys 2023 or Earth Monkeys 2023. You know, we are their reality trash television. There's
totally.
Why would they want to come communicate with us?
Right. I do feel that the people out there are way beyond us. Way beyond us.
That's how I feel. And on top of that,
I think so.
You look at a company like Ring, who, you know, is putting this out there. The fact is, everybody's basing this on the government saying that there have been confirmed UFO sightings. Okay, I'm sorry. Let's dial this back a moment. No one has ever said that there were actual landings or actual aliens. The release was there has been confirmed UFO sightings. UFO only means unidentified flying object. It does not mean space people. It does not mean space creatures. It does not mean spaceships. It's something they couldn't identify. It could have been one in a million things that we've seen 1,000 times before. So again, we need to slow our roll on this, you know, aliens are among us and they've been here forever. And, you know, that's not what they've said.
People need to create like a humanistic attribute to the whole scenario so they can process it. So I think that's where the whole alien person comes from, you know, because if we just see something in the air and we don't think that there's somebody coming out to greet us, or, you know, there's like a higher power benefit to it or a knowledge benefit to it, we can't process it. It's too scary.
Yeah, no, that's true. And then we got Carrie just said they're going to sell a ton of those to trolls who want to flood them with made up videos, though. Ninja marketing. I mean, that's true. That is a good way to do it. Like I mean, I would laugh if somebody actually got the $1 million, out of nowhere, and I'm like, really, you guys are gonna do that?
I don't see it either. I don't see it either.
I mean, I know people would probably pay, $2 to see Jeremy's, to see your anus. Anyone?
I've had bigger offers than that.
I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know what big offers you had.
It's usually gay men in their 70s back in, but I've been offered more. So.
Oh my God, no!
You opened the door. I just walked.
I didn't open any door. Not the back door, not the front door. I didn't open any door. Okay.
Nobody's opening doors. Nobody's opening any doors right now.
You had to say the word. On that note, we'll be right back, everybody, after these commercials. We got some cool stuff to talk about in entertainment news, including David Beckham calling out his wife. We'll tell you what she said and why he called her out right after this.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
We're back, and Jeremy decided that the zombies got too scary for him, so he had to step away for a second.
To talk about the door, the back door?
No, I don't know what he was talking about. Oh my God, we got some more entertainment news. Did the zombie scare you, Jeremy? Was that what it was?
I had stepfather issues. Sorry, had to go take care of my my stepdad, the one I like, mind you.
I thought it was the zombies that scared you. You know, I mean, it is Halloween season after all.
You know me. If zombies show up, we're gonna be having a beer.
Nice. You would do something like that. You're a weird man. Let me tell you. But that's why I tolerate you. That's why you're a part. That's why it's called the Navarro-Miller Report, because of that, Anyways, we got some entertainment news. David Beckham calls out his wife, Victoria Posh Beckham. Obviously, there's a new Netflix reality docuseries or whatever you want to call it out right now. Pretty much talking about Victoria, the Beckhams, for lack of anything else, stuff they've gone through and everything. And in the first episode of the series, they're interviewing Victoria, and she went ahead, and they were just pretty much trying to she was trying to explain what their backgrounds were. And she went ahead and said that, their backgrounds come from the working class and this, that, and the other. David decided to go ahead and interject on that and said, well, actually, she went and said, I think also we both come from families that work really hard. Both of our parents work very hard. We're very working class. That's when David pops his head in, and he said, "Be honest." And she's like, I am being honest. And David replies, "What car did your dad drive you to school in?" And she kept on trying. I think we lost Ashley here.
There we go. I don't know what happened.
Hey, Ashley.
There she is.
I heard everything you were saying. I don't know what happened to the screen.
All right, cool. So basically, they're going back and forth, and she's like, and she's like, well, she was trying to cover it up, and Dave was like, tell them, what car did your dad drive? And she's like, my father drove a Rolls Royce. Thank you. And he just walked away after that. It's like, I don't know what her definition of working class is per se, but that I know my dad was a part of the working class, and he never drove, a Rolls Royce ever in the 80s.
My father was as blue class as they come. He was a shop foreman for a air conditioning and ducting company. He worked sheet metal his whole life in a factory, in the whole thing. That is as blue collar as you get. driving a Rolls Royce is not blue collar. I'm sorry.
Definitely not. Okay, so my dad sold insurance door
There
to
you
door,
go.
and he drove an old, oversized blue Cadillac with an 8-track tape deck in
Nice,
it
I love it.
that played Rhinestone Cowboy.
Nice.
Nowhere.
Nice. It's like, and then in the comments, people, because I've seen some of the comments on Instagram and on social media, and some people are saying, well, maybe they were trying to defend her by saying, well, maybe she meant that, I mean, like working as that her dad worked to get to where they're at and this and the other. And I'm like, that's still not, but I mean, that's still not working class. I'm sorry. She's trying to say that. And it's like, you know what? If your dad's driving a Rolls Royce, then that's already money that came in. That's
already money in the bank.
Working class is like what your dad was doing, Ashley, what your dad's doing, or what your dad did, Jeremy. That's working class. Those are like people that are 9-to-5ers.
Let me
keep
tell you.
working for your money. You need to
Now-
work for your paycheck. You
Exactly.
need to work to pay your rent, your mortgage, whatever. Yeah.
Now, I have a friend, Dave, you know him, my buddy Brad, who's in our fantasy football league. His father was as blue collar working class as you can get, but he was working class in an area that was extremely profitable. Okay, so he led a silver spoon life. What most people would consider, because his father was able to translate that into large dollars, but still he wasn't driving a Rolls Royce. You understand? I mean, his ideal was a BMW or maybe a Mercedes. But again, it was a man he was in contracting and construction and basically built half the houses in the Hollywood Hills. So it was a very profitable blue collar gig. But again, a blue collar worker who did well, but still was not driving a freaking Rolls Royce. Okay, so
you know what? Driving a Rolls Royce is a big leap because
It
that's an expensive car.
yeah, I don't care what year, where you got it, what you dropped $200,000 minimum on that car. So
Do you know what the insurance could be on that car?
oh
Sorry,
my
I'm getting into
goodness,
cars.
oh my goodness.
Yeah. Suffice it to say, I mean, Victoria, her freaking nickname was Posh.
Yep.
Come on. You don't get that nickname when you're working class. What, you're working class posh? I mean, what's the matter with you? It's just, but you know what? You got to give David Beckham props for bringing his wife back down to reality. I mean, the guy, I don't know if many people know David Beckham's family background, but they actually did come. From what I understand, David Beckham's family were working class. They worked really hard to get David the education and to bring him up the way he did. So he comes from a very humble background, but that was even more, humble for him to bring her down and be like, hey, don't put yourself in that position, please. No. If your dad is driving a Rolls Royce in the 80s, guess what? You're not working class. Okay.
Oh my God.
And I got a lot of respect for him for doing that. He wasn't putting his wife down or anything else, but he was making a distinction. And I'm sure people who live a working class life, are very appreciative of that. I mean, I know I would be, and that is something that I would love to hear a superstar, a billionaire, actually talk about. So I'm sure their fans were appreciative in hearing him make that distinction.
Very much so.
I think it's nice when somebody is authentic.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
It makes you feel related, or it's relatable. When you're authentic, I feel like that's really the heart.
Oh yeah, 100%. And he definitely went ahead and showed that he's authentic, because he's like, no, I'm not gonna allow you to try to BS the public to make yourself look like a good public, like make it all good PR. No. I'm not gonna, we're gonna be honest about this shit. We're gonna be we're gonna be 100% honest about this. So props to David Beckham for doing that. So in other entertainment news, as we all know, the alleged murder of Tupac Shakur, Keith D, oh God, I'm like, his name is What's Jeremy? It's gonna Keith D. Davis, Dwayne Keith D. Davis. Thank you, God. It's gonna like
I was not gonna bail you out. I was enjoying watching you struggle. Sorry.
Probably because you didn't know either. Anyway,
Actually, I have it right here on my phone. I just
and you were
wanted to
just
see how
making
long
me
it took.
like you were just making me have like a brain aneurysm right now. It's been that kind of day. It's been that kind of day. And Jeremy's just like piling on, and we're like, come on.
Oh, don't start with me. You want to compare weeks?
Well, yeah. I said I've had a bad day, not a bad week. All right. So, but yeah, so the alleged, murder of Tupac Shakur, Dwayne Keith D. Davis, was arrested a couple weeks ago. But there's just so much stuff going on with this story. So many people. I mean, he's admitting, or the police, Las Vegas police, pretty much are saying that he was the one that, everything kind of just went to him. As many of you may or may not know, Keith D was it was a gang-related incident. Tupac apparently had shoved or got into an altercation with his nephew, I believe it was, and his nephew went to him, told him, you know what, Tupac did this, that, and the other. According to what sources say, he got into a car, went down to the strip looking for Tupac, found him, shot him, boom. That's pretty much what the story. That's allegedly what the story was all about. But there's other people that are saying there's other stories, other conspiracies that are going on right now. Suge Knight is saying that the cops got the wrong guy, that he still believes that the one that shot him was actually, in fact, Keith D's nephew who passed away a few years ago. He's saying that he's the one that did it, not this gentleman. And then there's an even bigger conspiracy going on right now, that basically saying that that Mace hints at Diddy alleged relationship with Tupac murderer Keith D. So they're saying that I've heard this story too, that Puff Daddy also had something to do with that too, because obviously we all know that that Biggie Smalls was having issues with the Notorious B.I.G. And so there's conspiracy theory saying that Diddy had something to do with that too, with Tupac's murder. There's also conspiracy theories alleging that Diddy had Biggie Smalls murder too. There's just so many everywhere. People are coming up with ideas and theories all over the place. Jeremy, I'm gonna go to you on this one because you're like smiling, shaking your head. What's your thoughts on this story right now?
This is the kind of story we're never gonna know the complete truth about. That's even if this guy was to claim, even if he was to now admit that, oh yes, it was me. There's no way we know this kind of stuff for sure. In the gang community, in this kind of community, it's all about your props, it's all about your rep, it's all about, who you've taken down and all that kind of stuff. So you're never going to know. This guy could have been all bluster for the last 20 years, just spewing bullshit about how, oh yeah, I did this. It's possible. We don't know who killed Tupac, and we probably never will know for sure who killed Tupac. Suge is saying that it wasn't him. Suge would never help the cops in the first place. He wouldn't identify who it was in the first place. That is kind of a code of gangbanging and so on and so forth. Your guys handle it. You don't help the cops handle it. So again, we would never know what's really going on. So is this guy going to go to prison for it? It's very possible. Does it mean he did it? No, it doesn't. We will never know for sure who it was.
Well, Las Vegas seemed pretty sure that it was him.
Well, Vegas is basing it, the cops are basing it on the fact that he has told so many people that he did it. I mean, that's a big part of their case, is that for 20 years he's been bragging that he did it. Well, and I'm sure there have been a lot of gangbangers who were claiming that they did it for a rep, for status, for whatever. So they don't have a smoking gun. They don't have fingerprints. They don't have weapons. They don't have somebody testifying that he did it. They don't have an eyewitness account. So you tell me how they're so sure it's him. All they're going off of is conjecture at this point, and the fact that this guy mouthed off for 20 years about, oh yeah, I'm the one who killed him.
So so let me ask you this. So if they don't have anything on him, why even arrest him? Why even hold him? I mean, if they don't have anything on him, they can hold him.
Well, again, they have lots of people saying he's the one who did it. They have him admitting he's the one who did it. If you say you killed someone, well, you've given prosecutors and police testimony that you did it. But that doesn't mean that he did it. In this culture, who you took down, who you killed, who you shot, who you went after is how you gain your rep, how you gain your status in the gang community. That's how you build rep. That's how you go from being a worker to an OG. You know, I have many friends who lived this life. I've been around it. I've seen it. I've talked about to, you know, so you don't know. It's braggadocio and arrogance over something like this. It doesn't mean it happened, but it's enough for prosecutors and law enforcement to say, we have testimony. We have him saying it. We have the killer admitting he did it. That's enough in court. But does that mean he really did it? No.
I mean, I guess the prosecutors want to close the case.
Well, and why wouldn't you? I mean, it adds to you. If you close the case, a big case like this, that's on their reputation now. They're now known as the person who put Tupac's killer away. Of course, they're going to want to do that. It ups their rep. So,
yeah,
I don't know. I just think it's one of those things we're never really going to know the truth.
Ashley, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this whole mess?
I mean, I would like to see the real killer go to justice. You know, I would like to see him get punished and have justice for him, but for Tupac. But it feels like we're never going to know, doesn't it?
Yep.
I mean, that's pretty much.
We're never going to know for sure, and that really bothers me. And you know, for somebody to feel that they need to brag to say they did something if they didn't really do it, that's just horrible.
That's a little sick, to be honest. I mean,
I was going to say sick, but I didn't know if it was okay to say that on the air.
Well, I mean, think about it though. That's it,
very sick. I mean, that's sociopathic in itself, to be honest.
No, it is, like, but the whole status of, you know, gangbanging is who took down.
I don't even have a gun. I don't like guns. I mean, the whole thing. Not to get political, but it's like I'm so against guns.
Political politics. No, get it away from me. Get on my show.
I'm sorry. Was that bad that I said?
Do you guys remember Pee Wee Herman? The magic word, like, you know, it's like, oh, politics. We all start screaming.
No, but you know, guns, weapons frighten me. I'm a pacifist. You know, so when we talk about this, it gives me sadness. You know, and I just hope he's resting in peace, you know, regardless of the crazy crap, that's going on down here on Earth, you know.
Yeah, no, I mean, and right now, like you said, Jeremy, you're right about that. The fact of the matter that it could be for cred, you know, that's all it is, just street cred.
But just it happens a lot. It's a possibility. That's my point.
I mean, especially if it was his nephew, like if it was his nephew that did it and maybe somebody wants to retaliate or whatever, people might look at him and be like, oh, damn, this is, you know, this guy's like did this, you know, it's like, we got to respect this guy, you know, we can't touch this guy, you know, I mean, and it was a gang thing. It was a gang hit. That's all it was. So, I mean, you know, there's also rumors too that he's afraid to go to prison because he's afraid that he's going to get unalived in prison as well. For doing it. Yeah, very quickly, very, very quickly. So that's another reason why he's a little nervous about that, and who can blame him?
Here's the hard part about that too: is, you know, he has the opportunity if he gets convicted and goes to prison of going PC, protective custody, but then he loses all his rep cred. You know, gangbangers, hardcore, you know, tough guys, they don't go to protective custody. They don't beg for protection from the guards in the prison. So that's a tough situation for him to be in.
No doubt. But I guess We'll see what happens. We'll see who comes forward. We'll see if maybe the truth comes out. We'll see what happens. In other entertainment news, as we all know, the Writers Guild of America strike has ended. It ended a couple of weeks ago. And I actually wanted to get, I mean, Jeremy, you're part of SAG. You were not very happy. And Ashley's also part of SAG, from what I understand as well. And Jeremy, I know that you were not happy with the WGA really ending the strike. I mean, you were not too content about it, for what's going to happen with SAG. I mean, what in your opinion, what is going to happen, with SAG now, like after this whole thing is done?
Well, let me clarify. I am very happy that the writers got what they wanted, because they did. They got a lot of concessions from the AMPT. I can never remember the letters for that.
Yeah.
But, they got basically what they wanted. They got protections against AI. They got all this different stuff, which is great. I have a lot of friends who are writers. I'm glad that their union was able to fight and get what they needed from them. But it leaves the actors in a bit of a position. We've lost some of our negotiating power because we don't have this other guild that is such a crucial part of entertainment standing alongside us. They're now back to work, and now it's just the actors. And to me, this smacks of a bit of strategy from the producers and from the big production companies, the big production houses. It's a divide and conquer type of a thing, in that they gave them most of what they wanted. I mean, they really did. They capitulated on most of the big issues to give the Writers Guild what they wanted. But they're holding the hard line with the actors at the moment, because they know they now have more leverage. So it just puts the actors in a tougher position. But I am really glad that the writers were able to get what they needed from this. So I don't want to make it sound like I'm pissed off they accepted. They should accept. I mean, they got everything they were asking for practically, but it has left us in a bit of a position because now we're standing alone.
No, I agree. And Ashley, you're also SAG. I mean, what are your thoughts on the WGA? Pretty much, their strike ending, but SAG is still going.
I mean, I feel like, first of all, I have to say, like, I just want everybody to be able to go back to work. That's like a big deal. That's really hard, not to be able to work, because it kind of trickles down to so many layers of the industry, of people who aren't working. So, but I feel like, the writers need to get what they need to get, and I feel like the actors can stand strong together. That's how I feel. And so I feel like I'm not thrilled, but I think like we're working towards a good goal. That's how I feel.
No, absolutely. And I mean, to be honest, it's just, I don't know. It feels a little unfair. It feels just a little bit unfair, simply because when the WGA went on strike, SAG was immediately there on the line with them, supporting them, backing them, going on strike with them. And now WGA is gone. And now it doesn't seem like, I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like the same support is reciprocated.
Well, let me say that SAG did not just go on strike to support them. It was not a fully unselfish move. They had a lot of issues that they had with, like I said, AI, with streaming revenue, with everything else that are the main focuses of this. And it was the right time for them to, go on strike and to do this. So it wasn't just like the actors said, oh, well, the writers are going on strike, we're going to support them. That didn't happen. So, I mean, let me just say that right now, that's not how it went down. The SAG waited almost a month before they went on strike, and it was more because of the issues the actors are having and that they needed rectified, rather than just support. It was more of a, in my opinion, it was more of a good timing kind of a thing, that they went on strike and we had things we needed to do, and it was like, let's support them, let's do it and get what we need as well. So it wasn't a completely magnanimous act.
Okay, well, I mean, it almost feels like they piggybacked then.
Maybe a bit. I think they did. I mean, it was in support, but it was the right time to do it. In that the writers were already striking, we could show support for them, and at the same time fight for the guarantees and the protections that the Actors Guild needs at this point.
My question is now, how long is it going to take for SAG to finally sit down and negotiate and have this thing done? I mean, like WGA, they're pretty much done. They're writers, so they're going to be writing stuff, but without actors, they got nothing.
Well, they don't, but at the same time, it allows the people who are working on the late night shows, the talk shows, the game shows, all those different things that don't require the actors but still need writers. It allows them to get back to work, which is a responsibility the Writers Guild has, to get their people back to work as possible. So, it is what it is. It's not great. It leaves SAG in a tough position, but I'm like I said, I'm really happy that the Writers Guild got what they needed.
I have noticed one thing, that I've seen a lot of actors do red carpets again. Isn't that against SAG, rules? Like Anne Hathaway, for example. What's going on with that?
You cannot do a red carpet to promote your own film or current projects. But you can walk a red carpet and do interviews and everything else, as long as it is not in promotion of one of your current films.
And what about talk shows? I mean, like, the talk shows are back on. Are actors allowed to go on the talk shows and be interviewed?
You are, but again, you cannot discuss current projects, even past projects, as long as they are SAG projects. That is off limits.
So there's still a little wiggle.
If they want to interview about your life, about what's going on, those things are still okay. There's some wiggle room that is allowed on some of this.
Okay. That's why I was like, I wasn't understanding too much. I was like, why is Anne Hathaway on the red carpet? I thought they weren't allowed. I mean, it just wasn't.
It's kind of like the autograph signings, the conventions and things like that. We are not allowed to do that in a certain way. It was Fran Drescher, the president of SAG at the moment, had issued a kind of guidelines as to what we are allowed to do and what we aren't. I have done the, autograph convention for a while. I really enjoy it. I like getting to go meet the fans and talk with everybody. It's fun.
You got fans?
Yes, they still exist. It's amazing, but they do. In fact, that's why we have viewers, Dick. But the fact is, I can still do signings. What I cannot do is sign and sell pictures that are from Growing Pains, from a SAG project. I can sell headshots. I can sell anything that isn't related directly to Growing Pains. So there again is still wiggle room. It's not a death blow. You can't do any of this stuff. It just can't be related to SAG projects that are going on now, or SAG projects that you did in the past.
Gotcha. Okay, it makes a lot of sense. We got some people in the chat. Well, first of all, Danny wants to say, nice to meet you, Ashley, by the way.
Nice
Danny,
to meet you.
Danny's saying that right now. JC had a lot to say, actually. He said, Jeremy Miller, does this mean, for example, if a show wanted to talk about your book, you would be able to do that, just not talk about like Pains or the movie version of the book that's in the works?
Correct. I could discuss the fact that we are doing a screenplay as we speak for the book, things like that, but I could not actually discuss it if it was a project in the works, if we were moving into production or filming. And no, I can't go on and be interviewed about Growing Pains or anything beforehand. But again, yes, I could discuss the book we wrote. I could discuss my life, my recovery, all those type of things. And if I am coming on, I could even come on a reality type show at the moment, as long as I am myself. I could do a paying gig on TV, on a movie, as long as it is a reality type thing where I am myself. I'm not playing a character. So again, there's a little wiggle room in a lot of ways here.
Gotcha. We also have David is saying, hi, Jeremy. Greetings from Phoenix.
Hey, David, how you doing? Hope you're not melting out there.
And Michael, he's one of your fans. Said,
Michael, my friend from Malta. How you doing, buddy? I appreciate it.
He says Jeremy's big fan. Michael, you don't have to lie. It's okay. We not many of us are Jeremy's fans. It's all good.
Oh, don't press Michael on that. Mike's one of my biggest fans, man. He's an awesome guy.
Oh man. Well, I mean, as it stands, we'll go ahead and we're still going to be like covering this until the strike is over, because this is a hot topic right now. The justice for a lot of these actors, and it's not even like you said before, Jeremy. It's not about the A-list celebrities or anything like that that have already are established. This is more about the actors that are still rising, that are still trying to get there. Actors that haven't really done anything in a while. Background actors, etc. These are for them. This is mainly the strike is mainly for them.
Well, it is, and the truth is, given there are some aspects that are for everybody. This AI thing is definitely for everybody, even the A-listers, because again, A-listers don't always remain A-listers forever. I've told you, I know guys who have won Academy Awards who can't get jobs right now. Even before the strike. So the AI stuff, all of that affects everybody. It really does. Everybody in the industry. So
most definitely.
This is really critical. But again, as Ashley said, this is affecting everybody down the line, the trickle effect down. My friends who are makeup artists, who are hairstylists, my friends who are
they're in a lot of trouble. I've talked to some of my friends who are in that part of the industry too, and they're having a really hard time.
Oh, they're struggling. I have friends who are losing their homes at the moment. It's bad.
It's terrible.
It's a tough time right now. Real quick, on TikTok, Marcelo Bailey, how you doing, buddy? He's out in the Caribbean islands, in the freaking he's out in paradise. Marcelo, nice to have you on.
Marcelo, we all hate you, but thank you for listening.
Right? We hate the fact that you're in paradise and we're not.
God bless you. I love it.
No, that's awesome. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens with the strike, and hopefully it'll be over soon. People could get back to work. Jeremy, you could get back to doing what you love, which is meeting your fans. All that one person.
Yeah, and I got 3 projects just on hold. I was supposed to be filming. I've told you this. I was supposed to be filming from July to the end of October. 3 different films, and they're all on hold again, and I'm just sitting here twiddling my thumbs. So I am dying for this.
Really hard. That's so hard.
No doubt. And Ashley, you don't have to worry about that. You're in the music industry.
But I was thinking, I'm just about to release a new song, and I was thinking, gosh, what if someone told me that we were striking for good reason, but I had to put it on hold? Or the collaboration I'm doing in 2 weeks, I have to put that on hold, and or the other project, I'm saying, or my music is supposed to go into somebody's project and it can't go. It's frustrating as an artist.
Well, in chatting about you and your music and everything, I wanted to go ahead and switch lanes here for a second, and just have our listeners know a little bit about you. Obviously you're a rising star. You have a lot of fans. You've done a lot of music and everything. It's you said that you're doing a lot of collaborations. What collaborations are you doing right now?
So I did a collaboration with Melissa Manchester, which we wrote a song together called Whisper Surrender. And that'll be out, I guess, in a couple months. It was kind of a cool song. And then I did a collaboration with Richie Neville, who's in the UK. He was in a boys band. Still, it's called Five. They're really hot in the UK. And so he and I wrote together, and we wrote a song called Bingo Baby, which was kind of a crazy, sexy dance song. It's inspirational in the sense, because most of my music I write from my heart, from my need to share with other people collectively to find the silver linings. That's how I would say, to never give up, you know. And I like that because that makes me feel good. You know, I don't want to sing and perform a sad song. I got to tell you the truth. I don't want to perform a sad love song about a broken heart. You know, even if I felt it, I don't want to go there. I just want to be in that happy moment. So anyway, so we wrote this song, and it's coming out on the 20th on all download on all DSPs. It'll be there. And it's called Bingo Baby. It's really cute. And then what else? Oh, I have a song coming out called Ribbons that I did with Damon Sharp. Damon Sharp's a great producer, writer. We wrote it together. He writes with J-Lo and Ariana Grande.
I know the name, yeah.
Yeah. He's an amazing guy. And the song Ribbons is so cute because I actually had this inspiration from a Barbra Streisand film where there's a character in it named Irene Malloy. It was Irene Malloy's hat shop. And Irene Malloy used to wrap her ribbons around her hats and make them for people. And but then, like, I always wanted to sing her song, I'll Be Wearing Ribbons Down My Back, but make it a disco song, you know?
Oh, cool.
And so, but they're like, no. So I'm like, okay, I'll use it for inspiration. So I used it for inspiration. And Damon and I got together and I was like, I think of Irene Malloy as a character, you know, in the hat shop. What does she really do with those ribbons? You know? And I was like, she's single, and Barbra Streisand's like a matchmaker in the movie. Remember, Hello Dolly? She's setting her up, you know, with Horace Vandegelder, like a date, you know. And so I'm like, she really has all these different men in different parts of the hat shop. Sorry if this is a little R-rated. And yeah, she's having fantasies. So I started to put ribbons and a disco together, and I thought, wrap me up in ribbons, wrap me up in ribbons, all the colors of the night. There's no limit, bound together in the night. And so it was kind of like, that was kind of like the idea. Sorry, I get like a little passionate.
Nope,
so
love it.
Anyway, so that's a song that we just wrote. We just remixed it. We have like 6 remixes on it. It's good. I'm so excited. I'm really excited about that one. So that'll be out probably in January. Bingo Baby now, then the Melissa song, then Ribbons, and then another song I wrote also called Shine, with a freestyle artist named Karina. And it's kind of about how you feel the minute you fall in love. It's called it's called Shine. I still do. But I was trying to capture like the essence of the feeling you had that minute, not like pre-love or post-love, but like that second, you know? And and then this other song. Oh my God, I love it.
she's got a bunch of songs.
I love it.
Because listen, like you and your projects, right? Like with your scripts. So like each song to me is like, it's like an opera. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I have an inspiration that comes from within, a story in my mind. And then I go to my producer, Gemini, who does the most amazing dance tracks. He does dance. He did a few dance tracks for Justin Bieber. Like, he does amazing dance tracks. So he and I learned so much from him. Like, now I do the dance tracks, like, with him. And, like, we sit there at I call it the disco board. And we come up with ideas. And so, so I went to them. And then it goes from them. And then you layer it. So it's like you have the disco board, and then you have the lyrics, and then you have the melody, and you kind of put it all together. That's what's so great I love about dance pop music. It's like a whole, production, you know?
Oh no, for sure. Dance music is amazing. And I'm curious, but before we let you go here, Ashley, I'm wondering, do you have any concerts that are coming up soon?
Oh, thank you for asking. Actually, tomorrow morning, 3 a.m., 4:30, I'm heading to Mexico City. I am performing at the Pepsi Arena.
I thought you were performing at 3 a.m. I was like, wow, that's like
no. I'm gonna get up at 4 and be at LAX by 5. So I'm gonna get on a plane, go to Mexico City, and we have a show at the Pepsi Arena. I'm opening and performing with remember Ace of Base?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I'm opening for them, and then Mad Stuntman, Shannon, Karina, a whole bunch of people. So I'm really excited about that. And so I'm very focused on that for tomorrow. So
nice. Okay, so how can people stalk you on social media?
Well, okay. You can go to official Ashley Paul at Instagram.
Awesome.
Or if you want to, you could go to my Facebook page is Ashley Paul Musician.
Okay.
And then I have a new placeholder for my website. If you just want to check up on everything going on with me, it's called ashpaulmusic.com.
Nice. Well, Ashley, thank you so much for being on our podcast. I mean, hopefully we didn't bore you at all. Hopefully we made it fun for you.
I love it.
Hopefully we'll have you.
Awesome.
Hopefully we'll have you on here again very soon.
Thank you for having me, and it's so great to meet you. And
nice.
Bingo, baby.
We'll see you very soon. Coming up next in sports, we lost a legend in sports this week. We'll go ahead and give you more details on that right after this.
Listening to stuff has never been so enjoyable. If you had the misfortune to have been born after 1990, then you missed out on a lot of cool stuff. Then Is Now podcast is here to remedy that. Join Rigor and his dedicated band of rotating hosts as they tackle pop culture of the past and how it relates today. From celebrity interviews to film and TV discussion and beyond, Then Is Now podcast brings you up to speed on all the cool stuff that you should know about. Plus, the East meets the West. If you enjoy movies that have lots of shooting and fighting, then there's a whole world of films out there that you don't even know about. Join our hosts on a journey as they discuss the amazing kung fu films of the Shaw Brothers and Western films made in Italy that have become known as spaghetti westerns. Action, adventure, kung fu fighting. Both shows and more can be found at havenpodcasts.com. Warning, may cause nostalgic feelings and eliminate boredom.
So on my TikTok, I got Marcelo saying, "I love this." He loves the commercial, so that's really cool. It's a cool commercial, I gotta say.
They're some of my favorites, I gotta say, and I have actually checked out both of those podcasts, and I really like them.
Nice, dude. Well, it was great having Ashley on the show, man. She's a stand-up person. Her music is really awesome, so you guys make sure you check her out on Spotify. You know, Jeremy, thank you so much for not embarrassing me too much.
I'll get better at it next time.
Damn it. With some sad news this week, actually, in the NFL, we lost legendary player and Hall of Famer Dick Butkus passed away this week, I should say, at the age of 80. He was actually mourned he was an incredible player in Chicago, and he was actually mourned by former President Obama. Actually mourn him as well. This is a huge loss for the NFL community. The guy, I mean, dude, you heard stories about Butkus.
Dick Butkus was the most feared player of all time in the NFL. I mean, there are stories about guys just basically crying about having to play him and go against him. One legendary coach said every time he tackled you, he was trying to put you in the morgue, not the hospital. The man was just vicious. But the funny thing is, he was the sweetest human being in real life. I got to meet the man. I knew him. He was on Growing Pains.
Yeah, he was also Saved by the Bell the college years too.
He actually played the father of Bobby Winnett, who was Carol's boyfriend, the football quarterback for Dewey High in Growing Pains. He played his dad, but I was intimidated to meet the man because of the legend, because of the stories, you know. I mean, I was young, but I still had heard the stories, and
of course
I was nervous to meet this scary guy, and he was the sweetest, most down-to-earth man. He was a wonderful guy to work with. I got to meet him and talk with him many times over the years after he was on the show. And he was a gentleman. He was an amazing guy. He really was. And his persona on the field was nothing like the man. So it's a big loss. It really is. My heart is very sad today that such a sweet gentleman, such a kind man is gone. But man, what a legend. I mean, like I said, there's actually a famous line from Brian's song where the running backs are all going over film in the film room with the coach. And they're saying, you know, what do you do if this happens? What do you do if this happens? And James Caan's character says, well, if this happens, you know, the guy's blitzing, I pick up this guy. Unless it's Butkus, then I just call the quarterback's wife and tell him he's dead.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was, and it's a great line, but it is how people felt about Butkus. It really is. He was that dominant of a defensive player. He was Lawrence Taylor before there was Lawrence Taylor.
Oh yeah.
You know, he was just this dominating middle linebacker. And at a time when you didn't see middle linebackers intercepting the ball, this man had, I think it was 4 or 6 interceptions in his rookie year, and had 22 interceptions in his career, which is still up there near the top for middle linebackers.
Oh yeah.
He was just an amazing player, an amazing man, and it's a heck of a loss.
And former President Obama went ahead and said, quote, in Chicago, Dick Butkus was football. Thinking of his family today and all the Bears fans who loved watching one of the best to ever play the game. So, I mean, like many Chicago fans, they're all mourning the loss this week of Dick Butkus. And, you know, he's definitely somebody that will always remain synonymous with the game itself. No, that's for damn sure. And, you know, I mean,
if you play defense, you aspire to be even half as good as Butkus was.
Those are true facts. And even in our comments, JC is actually saying, he said, Godspeed Dick Butkus, loved watching his guest spots on Pain, Saved by the Bell, the college years, and on. A cross-genre legend who will be dearly missed. Danny's also saying 80 years is a long life on another note, and that is true.
Especially for a football player who played in that day and age, you know, the day and age where helmets were a lot thinner, where the hits were a lot harder, where things were allowed that are not allowed now. The fact that this man made it to 80 and was still, you know, coherent and had his faculties amongst him is amazing.
Tell me about it. And our condolences go to the Butkus family and as well as to all the Chicago fans that are going to miss him. Even though I hate Chicago. I'm a Packer fan, you know, through and through to the day I die. But still, this is still a big loss for the football community in general. In other football news, NFL fantasy football, I just had to go ahead right before we go off here and just say how much of a badass I am. I got to go ahead and stretch a little bit here because I got to savor this moment, Jeremy.
You still listen to the rookie.
Hey, I'm in second place. Where are you? Where are you? I'm sorry. Where are you right now?
I'm having the nightmare scenario for a fantasy football. Every week, my opponent has a player who is a no-name player who was a backup who scores damn near 50 points.
You're going up against your brother this week, and I saw that.
He had DJ Moore put up 49.8 points on me. DJ Moore in Chicago, a guy who hasn't topped 10 points in like 2 years.
I saw that.
I am having the nightmare fantasy football season. It is a curse so far. Every single loss I've had, every single game, even the win, I've had some guy on my opponent's team who's not supposed to do a damn thing put up almost 50 points. It's insane.
Oh man, it was tough, man. Last week I had a phenomenal week. I mean, talk about 3 players that came through with a thunder. Even my opponent was like, dude, yeah, I thought I was going to lose. I personally thought I wasn't going to make it. I mean, the numbers, the stats, they were all in my opponent's favor. And then suddenly, you know, freaking, you had all, you know, oh God, I'm like blanking right now. I'm completely blanking right now. All my players in general just did an incredible job. McCaffrey, such a stud. I mean, the touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. I was just like, oh my God, this is insane. The McCaffrey's doing this. I mean, Brown doing it for me. You know, you got Nakua. Nakua is literally a freaking rock star. That kid, I'm so happy I picked him up. He was just sitting there. Ready to be picked up. And I was like, you know what? Thank you. Come on over to my team.
The only reason you got him is because you were higher on the waiver list than me.
Yeah, I know.
I had my waiver claim in for him, and so did Nigel, but you were higher on the list. So that is what it is.
It was a lucky. It was the luck of the draw on that one. So I was really happy that I went ahead and I got it. So, I mean, it is what it is. That's the news. In case you haven't heard it, thank you so much for being on the Navarro-Miller Report. Again, wanted to thank Ashley Paul, our special guest co-host, for joining us here. And we'll be back here next week again, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 7. I'm going to have to deal with this guy as usual, but it's okay because we're here to entertain all of you. For the Navarro-Miller Report, I'm your host, Dave Navarro, along with this pain in my rear.
I'm Jeremy Miller.
We will go. I wish everybody a wonderful weekend, and we will see you all next time.
You have been listening to the Navarro-Miller Report.
This episode of the Navarro-Miller Report was brought to you by the Dorkening Podcast Network and sponsored by Deadly Grounds Coffee.